What if you could take that risk, make that change, reach that goal, live your best life? Welcome to another episode of the What If You Could podcast, where we get together with amazing experts and everyday people who share challenges, encourage healing, and explore the possibilities that life has to offer. I'm your host, Gary Scott, and I'm excited that you're along for the ride. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the What If You Could podcast, and all the way from amazing Lisbon, right? Are we in Portugal? Lisbon, Portugal? Is Aisha Makara. Hello, Aisha. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's super hot here nowadays. So I'm sweating, and in my apartment and in Portugal we don't use so many like air conditioning, especially the apartment that they renting to the normal people. For the tourists is different. So yeah, I'm kind of like
A little
struggle.
toasty. Well, today where I live in Palm Desert, California, it's going to be 117 degrees.
Yeah, here is the same kind of.
Yeah, but we have air conditioning, so I'll make it. But I'm too cheap, so I don't turn on my air conditioning until it gets to about 100. It's too expensive. I don't want to do it. But so, Aisha, I'm just going to go ahead and read your bio real quick, and we'll get cooking if that's okay.
Hmm.
Awesome. Okay, guys, we have Aisha Makara's objective is to inspire, motivate, and empower audiences to live and breathe in their creative energy, to take risks and be brave in their endeavors with the ability to reinvent themselves multiple times, that nothing in life is granted or given. So they must go out and carve a path for themselves. To think of success as not only obtaining a position of power or financial strength, but you also see it as bringing color to life and creating a beautiful world with their own identity. Aw, man. I love that. That's awesome, kiddo. That's awesome. So I'm gonna get into your story because you got a great story. But like I said, I have to ask my question. And so, Aisha, have you ever had a what if you could moment or what if I could thought or anything like that you'd like to share with the gang before we get started?
Hello, everyone. I'm Aisha Makara. And yeah, about this question, when I've been living in Siberia, in Russia, I had this moment of my life. I was not happy where I was in that moment of my life. And I have this pivot moment when I've been in not good company, of like teenagers, and I have this what if moment. I said, like, I know that I don't like it here, and I know that I'm not feeling happy here. And what if I go somewhere that I don't know, and at the same time, it would probably I will find a place in the world where I belong to and where I feel happy. So I went on that journey. What if? And here I am in Lisbon, in my home, where I feel belong and where I feel very happy to be. Even this up and downs in this magical world I'm living in, I'm still believing in magic. I'm still creating magic wherever I go, and I feel since I left my place where I was born, I creating families anywhere I go, and I'm just like living my best life, and there was a smile and gratitude, and I'm feeling like life. It's all about being like using your imaginary and be grateful that we're here. And I believe we're powerful creators. You got to just have your imaginary ready, and sometimes you get to be attached to the pictures. And now I'm learning to be disattached to the picture because I have so many ideas and I leave them all. The thing is, sometimes like you just get to leave. You're not like not going for the picture and going for the goals. Just like enjoy. This is what I'm learning last 2 years, learning how to enjoy my life and be joyful and practice joy and gratitude in my life.
That's a really good "What If You Could," by the way. That's a really good one. Because you were born in Mongolia and then orphaned at the age of 2. So were you basically, you grew up in Russia?
Yeah, I've been living there most of 18 years. Yeah, 18 years of my life.
Wow. Well, so at 18, you just said, "Yeah, I'm not loving this anymore. I'm out of here." And you just left. Where's the first place you went when you escaped? By the way, is it easy to leave Russia? Can you just pick up and leave?
Well, it depends. I feel like
We don't want to give
depending.
away any state secrets. We don't want to get you in trouble or get you arrested.
No, no, no. It's not easy, for example, to apply for the international passport to get out because you get to have a lot of things. But when you're out, it's super easy. Um, the only things when I moved I was like about 15, 16 when I left the village or little town where I was living that time to the bigger city to study. And I was feeling that moment of my life. I, you know, was so many things that's happening in such a short amount of the time that I also would have this moment. What if, like, if I would go to study and leave this place, if I don't go to study, and not living this place, how my life is going to be. So it was completely not easy for me to finish the school because you don't have a discipline, you don't have anyone who motivates you saying that you get to do that or why you get to do that. So in that moment of my life, I faced death of my friends, the people I was hanging out that time, and I said, if I'm going to stay here, I'm not going to survive until 18. Something will happen with me, so I get to leave. And so I didn't know anything about how I'm going to do that. And I just went for the exploration and I did that move because I understood it's yes, of course you're scary in the first place. In the second place, it's better to do that move than to stay where I am and kind of die young, because it's not the way. Because orphan, like it's very different in Russia. Like it's very different orphanage or orphan kids from Moscow or St. Petersburg or like big cities, and living like very far away from like somewhere very small regions of Russia where nobody cares. We don't receive the enough amount of the food or like nourishment. We can go on like very cheap pasta for like I had a moment when it was perestroika. We went on a cheap pasta for so long. I was so tired. I was so like kind of like I hated the first time in my life. I was hating something because it was so not good. Because when the perestroika happened, you don't know that it's perestroika is happening, right? You're just experiencing it through the experience. And I remember the story was clementine, and I'm like, I love this clementines. And every winter for the New Year's, we were receiving the clementines, and I was loving them. I was doing exchange. I was creating all these different games about the clementine because I just want to have clementine. And one year the clementine didn't arrive, and I was like super confused, so surprised. I was like, "Where's the clementines?" And I was like asking everyone what happened to the clementines. I was maybe like 5 years, or whatever, like that moment, like 5 or 6. Like I was feeling like, oh my gosh, something has happened with Clement. I was like, I didn't know. And I was like discovering, I was asking all year, I remember. Second year, I started to ask again, and people didn't give me the clear answer. And I was like, what happened? Why? Why? In my mind, in my little brain, it was like, I was so confused and so kind of like unhappy inside, like why they took this like little joy that I had, the clementine, this little like
Yeah.
orange things that I enjoyed so much. And it was kind of, for me, there was such a like sun, or like such a, like this taste of it. And I remember the first year I kind of already forgot. And I'm, of course, when I got adult, yeah, I was eating so many of clementines that I got like reaction like, because I was missing it. But like the point is like many times when you're living in the environment, you don't understand what's happening in the big picture as a kid. You just kind of experiencing through the experience that you're used to, and after it's changing and this is changing. And the funny things also was like I'd never had my clothes, my room, or my shoes, or like my toys. I get to always share. And so for me, I've been pushed somehow to be extroverted because you don't have your space. And so I discovered that I'm extroverted and introverted at the same time later in my life. And there's so many things like you don't understand because like universe or whatever you call it, like a source was pushing you towards that. And you get to experience, you get to thrive and thrive at the same time. And through this experience I learned so many things about myself. And I was feeling I get to kind of be independent and responsible in such a young age to take care of myself in a way that nobody cares. Adults didn't have time to care about you, don't have time to talk to you and ask you anything. So it was just punishment and this brutal screaming every time. And if you don't do the thing they're telling you to do, and I've been kind of a rebellious child. I've been aggressive, and like because I was very like stubborn and always speaking up my truth, what I think. And I'm still like this. And I cannot take it from me. It's kind of like big part of my personality, I think, to be stubborn and, like speaking up my own truth. And so I've been punished so many times. I was sometimes feeling like I was the only child who's been punished all the time because I didn't care. I was like, I came to this idea like it doesn't matter what I do, I will punished anyway. So what to worry? So I just throw myself there, did whatever I want, and
So
managed.
you were always kind of a rebel then, weren't you? You were
Yeah,
kind of always a rebel. Which is
yeah,
good because I mean, really, you're not going to get anywhere if you just conform to what they want you to do. I mean, you've kind of got to be a rebel to pick up and do what you did. I mean, travel to 60 countries and start your painting, start your property management company. I mean, that's not something that usually happens to an orphan born in Mongolia, right?
yeah. I mean, I meet Mongolian people, and they mostly like was a wealthy families, and they have opportunity to travel and have this exchange students in a different place, and they surprised. They say like, "Oh my gosh, you like manage," and they very like understand. Me like I don't know how to explain, but like I talk to them and they really like kind of like, wow, you manage, you have like they're really like doing like this to me. And they are like from nice families, like you have done like such incredible job on yourself and on their way of being, and continue to be so like delightful and happy and joyful and have so much light in you and be so beautiful inside and outside. So when I'm talking to like to my blood kind of like family, but that's where I come from, they see me, they really appreciate what I have done and how much I have you know created in my life and how much I work on myself. And the people who doesn't understand, they will not understand because it's not their way of probably seeing the world or whatever it is. I cannot like show something people don't want to see. So for me, I'm just living my life, and I'm saying to the people, like, I just like to live my life. I like to be example, whatever like example is. Some people want to look up to me, some people don't, some people like me, some people don't. So I came to the point that I just do me. And the most important, as far as I'm doing me and continue like trusting my own gut and what I feel like it's right for me. Yes, it's not it's challenging many times. And the point is like when you have a vision of yourself and you're working towards that and you're building that confidence day by day, that way you started to create authentic yourself by beingness, by being curious, by asking questions, by being stupid one, it's like being whatever you call it, like childlike, and the funny things about many things in my life, I'm not scared to be stupid, I'm not scared to be dumb, or whatever you call it. I'm myself, and like it's better to go and ask questions and go and throw yourself there than don't do anything and than to think about that. And many times in my young life, I was just throwing myself. Many times I didn't think, I want to do that, I just go and do it, and of course many times I was burn myself out, and because of the way I throw myself, and it's like I get to learn, and I understood that it's not so healthy in the long term, in the long run, because you're getting burnout very often. And but I like it. I like this impulsiveness in me, and I still have it. But sometimes I'm just like stopping myself, like, wait a moment, let's think about the consequences. Do you really want to do thousand things right away, or you just want to focus on one and grow this one? So
How did you discover your painting? How did you discover that you were an artist? When did that come into play?
well, I've been like first time in my life when I was burned out. I think it was in Norway when I moved as exchange student, and I've been this good girl, because I was like every time I want to be um, kind of this idea of what it is to be good, what it is to be, um, doing what people say to me to do, what's like following up, like kind of like follower, be a follower of the thing. So I actually achieved many amazing things that time as well, and I one day I just feel like I burn out, and I started to create art. I was doing art just for myself, different art, just like postcards, like paintings, and so for me, it helps me to kind of get over my and travels. I travel a lot, and it helps me kind of like guide myself through. And when my next burnout happened here in Portugal, I was having a property management company. I was like running a business, and I understood it was not something I was passionate about, just because many entrepreneurs or that young generation, like I am part of, like we're all going for this number. And my number was like 1 million euro, whatever we were working on. And I'm like, after 3 years of working, I was like, oh, if I'm going to work extra 2 years, I'm getting to my 1 million, I couldn't push myself, because one day I was just started to think about that, and I'm like, it's just a number. What I'm going to do with this number? This number is giving me so much, like what type of the freedom I want to have, how I want to manage it, how I want to like organize it. So for me, I started to create art again, and that time my art was sold very easily. And one of my friends said to me, "What about you just being artist?" And just started to be like more, organizing yourself as an artist. And I'm like, artist? Like I consider myself as an artist, and here I am, like started to do art classes, and asking question what it is to be an artist. I started to question or interview hundreds of the artists, asking what it is to be an artist, what it is like, so I got like a lot of different responses, and so I was like, okay, and I got kind of like idea because of my engineering background. My art, even like doing things, it's very structured. I have this idea of the way I want to organize it, and the way I want to. And my Norwegian or like Russian, like planning ahead 3 years, 5 years, the way I want to do that, the way I want to develop myself in the space. So I started to kind of like organize myself. And when I moved to Miami and become full-time artist, it's like people was asking me, oh, how do you actually position yourself? Why are you selling your art for thousands of dollars? And I said, listen, I'm already like engineer, I'm already like working as engineer, I'm already working at my business, I built a business. I cannot start it from scratch or zero again. Even I came to the new country, it's not the how I position myself. Like I cannot, like I said, I have my value, and that's how I, like my prices started from thousands. That's what I decided. That's the price. People who wants to buy it, they will buy it, because they value who I am, the way I am, because I value myself. And people who doesn't value, they will not see. They will not see, because they don't value themselves. So like I started to kind of like educate other artists, like in some ways, And even so, I haven't studied, I haven't like been doing that in a more like consistent way from the childhood. I was just doing a lot of writing, a lot of writing since I'm like 7 years old. I'm doing my journaling. Just general to my best friend is my journaling, and I was writing a lot of like fairy tales, novels when I was like a kid. Um, and for me, like art, like creating art was not, big part of my life that time. And I feeling like it's kind of evolve by the time, because when you like growing spiritually, or you kind of like you understand, I'm in a soul journey. When I was like 24, I think I went on this spiritual journey called Camino de Santiago. I love Paulo Coelho, and I read all his books, and I was like, and I read somewhere like Paulo Coelho did this Camino de Santiago. I end up that time being in Italy, and somebody told me about like, oh, you know about this Camino de Santiago, and I was starting to do research. Oh, Paulo Coelho, and my writer, like my favorite writer, did this, and I said, I want to do that too. So I went this Camino de Santiago journey, and my question was like, what, what it is to live true love, what it is to be true love. And I wrote this like, it was three questions: what it is to be true love, and what it is to be true love, and what it is to do true love. And I discovered that, and through that journey, I was again journaling a lot, and I was like feeling like I'm the true love. I'm the embodiment of myself, being truthful to myself and actually live up towards whatever I get to, my ideas or my dreams or whatever I imagine. I get to go and just create it for myself. I have just like these ideas that I just go and do, and everything just unfolding naturally. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. I get to do that, because this is what I want to live this lifetime. And not so many people I discover have ideas or dreams, or the way they want to set up their life, or like their way of they want to have the lifestyle, how they want to organize themselves. So I started to think more and more about networks, which networks I want to be in. And I got very disappointed of many things, the way like when I've been in a business network here in Portugal, I understood it's male dominant, very macho, and compared to Norway, where we're the opposite. It's more like woman dominant. We like more like dominance there. So like for me, like it was a big switch, And after when I moved to America, it was completely blurry idea of the male and female, and the way the things works. It was so blurry that I got confused. I was like, what's going on, what's happening? I know that I'm a woman. I know that I'm it's important for me to be a woman, because even here in Portugal, I feel very much to be female and appreciated as a female. Even so, maybe I don't do the business concept, but I know man is here to serve me in some way, for the best possible way. Like I get to just communicate with them my needs and wants. And in America, it was so much like comparison, competition from both and more men and women. And in artist scene is like completely crazy how the art scene works. And it was like I was learning. I was telling the artists, it's not about competition. We're all different, and who will like my art, like will not like your art, and it's okay. We're here to work together. We're from the divine. We get to channel the divine and continue to support each other. So I always organizing the events or like pop-ups. I always invite my artist friend. I mean, the artist from whoever I knew, and just for the creation part, for the like collaboration, to see each other, to inspire each other, to kind of like and I've been that person for like a years there, and for me, I got disappointed because I realized how the artist world works in real, how harsh it is, a little bit in some ways. And I'm like, so this joyful and this kind of like Norwegian, because we're all about supporting each other. We're all about like, helping each other to grow, lifting up. Let's, we're all together. We're all winners, like, and not, it's not like win lose, it's about like win win every time, figuring out how we can all win. And so I was always like working towards that. And I'm like, I was so surprised, like why people don't do that, like why people don't look in a win-win, because we're all in the same boat, you know. In my mind it was like, we're not like crashing the boat. If we're going to continue to do like this, we're crashing the boat and everyone is going to die in the end, you know. And instead to like figuring out how we're going to thrive. And I was using to say to the people, it's not anymore about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about like figuring out next step of thriving, because it's not about like about money and surviving mode. It's about like, you know, educate yourself. And for me, when I moved to America, like, and I learned how to like navigate myself, I was started to be hippie in 2021, because I kind of like naturally gravitate towards that. And I live in my van and selling my art, living in from festival to festival. It was awesome life. And one day God's wanted me to, you know, just be in a completely different space. And I didn't want to accept that. The first one, you know, these things started to happen, I just didn't even kind of, I've been so stubborn in my own kind of picture of the way I want to live my life. And I was super happy, you know, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm living my dream. I'm in heaven. I'm eating fruits. I'm just living in this amazing Florida where like I know everything. I'm just getting better in my van. I build up better and better. And I just want to like have that lifestyle, because I was telling to the people, you don't need to, you're not going to die here. Like uh, it's impossible. Like it's always so warm. It's like so many fruits. You go into the homestead. It's just like a abundance of the fruits. Abundance the way you can make money. It depends like how much money you want to make. Why? And it's like so easy. And I was, it's absolutely easy the way you can, you know, organize yourself. You want to make money for 3 months or 6 months, you do it. If you want to make money for traveling, you do it. It's like in my mind, it was super easy. And for the people, they cannot see what I was seeing. And for me, it's like when I moved to the boat, I was having like sailing life a little bit for some months and I love it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to buy the sailing boat. I'm going to live in a van. I have this amazing life going from island to island. I'm just like fishing, you know, I started to scuba dive and like doing more things that I enjoy outdoors, you know. And for me, I was living a dream, like a, you know, kids, like a kid, like a dream that I was always like a child, like I was super happy and playful and just like being more and more playful and become like this so like crazy cartoonish artist, because I was wearing this weird clothes and every time was super colorful and this I had like I was like very playful and fun in my world, because I was just like want to have fun. And here I am like get to kind of like be completely out of that life, because you know my van was broken in, everything was like stolen from me, all my like identity, everything, all the money, absolutely all. So in the first time of my life I get to go and ask for support, you know, of like that's like I always organize my life that everything is working out. And here it is. I've been already in Art Basel, you know, in a local Art Basel in Miami. That was my dream in 2020, and everything's happened in 2021. And I kind of like I already knew that I'm living a dream. I'm always living my dreams, and I was like organizing my next big journeys. That the way I wanna live adventure. I was started to kind of like think I'm right now living my fairy tale and adventure, because every time I'm going to the festivals, I'm seeing like elves, you know, like all like elves and fairies, and I'm just all the artists look like elves and fairies, and I'm like, you guys like coming from kind of like fairy tale. Probably I'm also kind of look a little bit like fairy or elfish, I don't know. And for me, I started to realize I'm living kind of like a fairy tale slash like adventure, because it's always adventure. It's always being in a mountain or being somewhere in the ocean, being like every time you're the pirate like somehow, because you're figuring out your life, you're kind of independent on your own. And here you are being for nothing, like your identity stolen, laptops, money, cards, everything, your phones. You're sitting there with nothing, with like all the windows of your van is broken, and and you're thinking like, wow, how did it happen? Why did it happen? And and I was like, ask for support. And for me, it was not easy even ask for support. I didn't know how to be vulnerable. I was so always in this control. And here I am. I get to be so vulnerable and being kind of in my own, like, being like, so I cried, of course, and like, oh my gosh, I was like, oh my gosh, it's just so crazy. And I asked for support. And hippie communities, like going from the festival and festivals, and you get to kind of go, and I get to make money to fix my van. And it's not easy because it was not easy because nobody hire you. You don't have anything, and hippie community, they don't pay you, like they just pay you a very little, cash, a little bit if you work. Normally they just give you food and place to stay. And so I get to go to this festival to festivals, and I still was doing a little bit of art. I couldn't create so much because I was completely like exhausted and kind of like damaged in a way that I couldn't even understand in that moment of my life. And here it is, the opportunity to send my art to the space, or like art to the space, arrived. And I'm in the middle of nowhere in a festival, somewhere in Tennessee, or it was like probably, I don't know, North Carolina, and no internet, nothing, no phones. Somebody just tell me, like, I was sometimes going to my Instagram or my emails, and my other friend, she sent me like message, and she said, oh, on Instagram, she's like, oh, look, this opportunity is about sending your art to the space. Because I was always sharing, I want to go to the space, I want to send my art to the space, I want to go myself to the space, I want to paint a rocket. I was telling to the hippies, and one of them, she sent me this message. And the funny thing, I shared with all my artist friends that they get to apply for this project, and nobody did. And I did. I've been selected, and it's very difficult for me to create art. I couldn't understand the message. I was too like kind of disorganized and completely broken. My heart was broken. Everything was like, I was completely broken in that moment. And I still living this magic. And people helped me to kind of like organize it, and things happen just in a magical way. I send my artwork. I've been selected. I went through the interview. I signed up the contract. And after, like, when my art been engraved in golden plates, and we had this, we sent it to the space. My artist was like asking me, like, how did you do that? How did it happen? I said, because maybe it's my dream, and when it's connected to my dreams, I'm not asking like, oh, probably 1,000 artists is going to apply for that. I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm just going and create it. It's the same when I went as exchange student to Norway. Many of my friends was telling me, thousands of people like applying for, you don't have good scores, you don't, like, every time what I don't have. And I'm like, okay, whatever, if I'm not getting selected, it's fine. At least I tried. And and I've been in, and I'm like, everything in life, I feel like I've been already applied for the being in a space with the Jeff Bezos project. They didn't select me like this time, and they sent me email. So I applied for the volunteering. So I'm always like, kind of moving towards my dreams, because it's always opportunity. Yes, sometimes it's working well, and sometimes it's not. It's not. It doesn't mean you're not going to be selected, or you're not going to experience the things. Forget about money. Forget about. It's about the dream. It's about like a being in that fairy tale adventure. Life is adventure. My life is like, I call like fairy tale adventure and comedy, because like I choose to live like this. I choose to be me in my fairy tale. I don't know. I just know that I'm me, and whoever is around. And like, in the fairy tale, you also have this up and downs. You get to go through some dark forest, whatever. So you get, it's like in life as well. And after, it's always kindness and love and joy and appreciation and like gratitude. It always, help you to be where you get to be, and living your like real purpose by being kind. And I'm feeling like, no matter what's going on in my life, I'm always kind to the people. Even so, I sometimes am having like a little bit anger, a little bit like frustration. I can say something mean, and after, I'm like, of course, apologize. And I'm saying to myself, like, I don't want to do that anymore. I choose to be kind. I choose to give love. I choose to give hugs and kisses no matter what, because it's my choice. And people are people. They always be, people are people. So I cannot control what outside me. I can control what inside me, and that's it. And that's what I can do. Yes, I'm also emotional being, and I'm going through the emotional roller coaster time to time. And I do my best to not like navigate and balance myself through the experience. And sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. Many times, like when I'm having my breakups and in relation, I'm like, it's just a breakup. It's not a big deal at all. Of course, if I'm like have kids and like I'm being with someone for years and years, even so, you always get to probably find a way to be friends, because it's just you have like a moment where you had so many amazing moments together, and here you are like in the waves going separate ways. Why you remembering just the not good moments? Like when I started to count, people say, "You're so happy and joyful." I said, "Yes," because yes, some moments, some days of my life was very heavy and damaged me in some ways, and it's not easy for my heart or my body. And at the same time, when I'm counting the days, it was wonderful and magical and joyful. I'm traveling around the world. I've done so many amazing things. It was thousands of thousand other days. So why I get to focus my life on something that happened to me and be victim of it, when I can look at all my life and look at this as a winning, and be a winner. And that's why I used to also say to the people, like, when you look at your life, you've been or like born in a very nice family, parents give you best whatever they could do in the life. Think about the kids who don't have family. Think about kids who hadn't had that experience, who didn't have the parents whose father or mother was alcoholic, or went through different damage experiences in the childhood, been punished and brutal experiences in the childhood. And think about like many other things that many other people experience. So be grateful who you are, the way you are. And everyone going through trauma, everyone going through some experience that is not easy. And at the same time, why you stuck in that in the first place? Why do you do that to yourself? Why you cannot go and actually let go and forgive yourself? No, because people like to go in that loops of victimize themselves, and instead to look in the bright side of the life and see, like, I'm a powerful creator. Actually, your thoughts create your words, your word create your actions. And so be careful what you're speaking. And many times by speaking up something, it's like you can look at this something positive or something not positive. The point is like when you started to listen to your own words and understand why I'm sharing the way I'm sharing. People like, I used to, they used to say to me, "Oh, you didn't have any hardship. It looks like on your face, you're so happy. And every time you're so smiling." I'm like, how can you say that, like, I didn't go through? You don't know my story, you don't know anything about me, and you're already judging me because what I'm wearing, because what my smile is. Like, how much the smile cost me, how many experiences I get to go through to have this smile in my face. Continue to smile to the world, continue to love this world, continue to appreciate things that I'm experiencing every day, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. Love it in the same time. And I'm feeling like many people in our time, they don't see the beauty in life, or they don't want to see the beauty. I don't know. I just know that I choose to see the beauty in life, and I choose to appreciate the beauty when I see it. I appreciate beautiful body, I appreciate art, I appreciate everything what I see, and I'm always expressing it with appreciation in my heart. I really mean it from my heart. And I'm feeling like more people, when we have more people like us who's living appreciating from the heart and living from the heart, no matter what. And I said to myself, yes, my heart was broken. And I said to myself, why? Because of expectations, because of the ideas that we have. And it was not true, because the illusion that we're living in through our mind, it's nobody breaking our heart, we do, because of all of that happened. Oh my gosh, poor me, like this person. No, I get to look at myself, I get to take responsibility of my own action, the way I react or act to the event I experience. So I choose to be grateful for anything I'm experiencing in my life, and just walk with a lesson and gratitude, or be happy about any experience I have. Many people don't. They just decided to be victims. And I used to say, like, it's 90% of the people around the world is a victims. They just say, oh, I'm come from poor family. Oh, my parents didn't give me education. Oh, I have to do this. I have like poor me, poor me, poor me every time. And I'm like, look, your life is rich. You grew up in a beautiful neighborhood. You've been playing all day long outside, being free, go to the school, like by yourself, nobody will driving you, like, you know, it was like a safe environment. I live in a very safe environment. Yes, it was a lot of brutality. I could do whatever I want. I can play, I can enjoy, I can have fun, I can, you know, be a kid, free kid, you know, do whatever I want. I'm just feeling like many times people don't value what they have. They want to have something else. They think that this something else will be better for them. And I used to say, whatever meant to you, it will naturally gravitate towards you. And you get to be just authentic yourself, continue be grateful, continue be happy, or like work on your happiness and joy every day and stay in that space for yourself, create that container for yourself, that bubble, boundaries, you know. And boundaries is very important, principles is very important, values are very important. So understand what values and principles you want to have in your life and just be it, practice them, carry them, because that's who you are. It's like, you know, we're just habits, we're just consistent habits. And if I will continue to cry over my life, I will not see the beauty. You know, I will not, if I would say continue like, oh, poor me, my mother abandoned me, oh, poor me, like, you know, I will be dead probably 20 years ago somewhere, you know, oh, because I've been suicidal as well, you know, like it's so many things I get to go through in my life to like be where I am today. I'm just feeling like I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful who I am. I'm grateful I did what ifs, you know, like, and I did whatever it takes to achieve what I want to achieve in this lifetime. And it's so much more to do, you know. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just like, I don't want any more like rushing things and going too fast. I decided like I get to slow down and kind of like appreciate, be grateful who I am today and how much I achieved today, and you know, take it easy on myself. And it's not easy. It's like it's been challenging for me, and I'm feeling like some people telling me, "Oh, like I had my exhibition, solo exhibition just last week," and people like coming to me, "Oh, it's your first solo exhibition. You've been here already 8 months." And I said, "Yes, I took it slow because I choose to." And whatever, you know, how many exhibition, and I was used to say that, how many exhibition you have done, how many books you have written, wrote. And they, you know, decided to be quiet right away. And they say to me, oh, it's used to slow. It's like, who are you to tell me I'm slow or I'm fast? And in the first place, like, why you share telling me these things? Oh, you haven't done so much in 8 months by moving here. I'm like, I don't know which world you living. I'm living my dreams and I've done amazing things already. So like I'm just like direct to the people because I don't like when people coming from the place of judgment, you know, and I learned one things about people who wrote the book, who create something in their life. They're always giving you a hug. They're always saying to you, you're doing amazing things. Continue to shine your star, continue to be so amazing that the way you are. People who haven't done anything in their life, they will give you advices, they will comment on your work, they will tell you, oh, I will create book better than like why you didn't choose this colors or that colors, or why you didn't put in this word or something like that. And I'm like, why I get to listen to this in the first place? And I'm like, thank you very much. I'm doing it my own way, the way I see it. And I'm not here to listen to your bullshit, you know, because I just cannot. I'm just smiling and I say to them, thank you, I appreciate your feedback. That's it. And I learned one thing, that people who have done many things in their life, who have created, they are so appreciative. They are so like, they see so much value in you. You know, they buy your work. They want to support as much as they can, from not from the just with the words, with the actions as well. And that's kind of like what I'm learning by creating more things in the world, by being more mindful in the society and creating my network I see how much they value my work. They want to pay me money. They want me to, showing up, and they want me to be paid to showing up to the being speaker or doing this, doing that. And for me, it's like they see the value in me because they see value in them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that is a spectacular way to live because you can look back and say, I did exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't hurt anybody. I gave love to everybody. I let people have their own opinions, but I lived the way I wanted to live and I did the things that I want to live. So that's a,
Yeah.
that's a good way to be. That's a good way to be, kiddo. Um,
And I just want to add one thing. Like, it's so
yeah,
funny. Like, it's better to live the way you want to live than, just to think and don't do anything.
yeah. No, like I always say, and I tell people all the time, you never regret the trips you took or the things that you did. You always regret the ones that you didn't do. So you've got to go out and live. I mean, you've got to go out and do what you're going to do. Um, so you've got your art, you have your book, and you started a property management company. How did that come about after all the crazy stuff you've been doing? You actually gave yourself a job. That wasn't a good idea. Now you have to be somewhere and do and have a job.
Yeah, that's well, when I moved to Portugal after the Camino de Santiago, I discovered that it's my home. And then the first things I want to do is real estate, and not just real estate, luxury real estate. And then I said, like, I'm here, I'm going to be dressing up because in Norway, I couldn't dress up. I love to dress up like nice dresses and high heels, and I want to be like putting a little bit of makeup on me. And in Norway, it's not necessary. You're always kind of like practical, and I want to be more playful and kind of have fun. And so I saw myself like as a businesswoman. I'm like, okay, I'm a businesswoman, and I want to do real estate luxury. That's what I decided, and I went to work on the real estate. I did my license, and I started to do that, and it's like it was so easy, and it was so like people just give me the keys to their apartments and telling me like, please manage my property. So, and I was like, one day I had so many things, and I was like, after 3 months, I think I just moved to Portugal, and I was like, so many things already. People like I could stay for free. I was staying for free in this place and that place, and I could just choose where I want to like stay or like live for 1 week or 1 month, wherever I choose to. And I'm feeling like you kind of like access to this abundance that many people dream of, and here I am. It's like I can just leave it, and so I was doing it for like a little bit for like 3 months, I think, until like I was figuring out my things, and I'm feeling like when I look around, it's like, okay, we get to do like Airbnb. That's a good opportunity for the Airbnbs, and and they started to do that. So I was a few other friends. We opened up their company, and we started to run property management. We were managing other people's properties. We had like different like a contract that we were running, and that was kind of like a fun experience. And after like 2 years or 3 years, I think, of working consistently 24/7, I haven't traveled for over 2 years, and I was feeling like, for me, like who loves to travel, I was like switching my life from like kind of like organizing and planning as an engineer, and after like stopped to work as engineer, went to travel backpacking around Europe, and after like around America, and after I come back, and I was like, I want to move from Norway, and I didn't know where I want to move. First, I was thinking I'm going to move to Spain, Italy, and France, south of Spain, south of Italy. And I tried. In Italy, they don't speak any English. I gained a new language, and in Spain the same, in France the same, and after I did this Camino de Santiago, when I arrived to Portugal, Portuguese people speak English, and they kind of like very happy, joyful, love to eat a lot, celebrating life, just a little bit different. Italian do that too, and Spanish do that too, and just a little bit different. They're way more open-minded towards like a new culture, new language, or like different people. Spain is less kind of open-minded. They're way more like a conservative, and Italians as well, from the French as well. And that was, I was like, I didn't know about that. It took me a little bit of time to kind of like figuring out that side of me, or like of the reality. And so I was like feeling, oh my gosh, Portugal, it's an amazing space to be, and it was so cheap, like compared to Norway, or compared to like other places in Europe, was so cheap to live here. It's easily, you can have $500 and have a nice life, you know. And in my mind, it was like, I can live here for 3 years or 2 years, like easily, do nothing. And I said to myself, I can, with my savings. And I came to the point of like, I'm young, I'm going to figuring out for sure something to do. So that was my first retirement. I was first time kind of like retire myself. I didn't know that it's called like you can retire yourself and like kind of recoup yourself and do something different. And so for me, being in real estate and started to do this property management, it was kind of like natural transition and working towards the million. Like everyone was running up the million that time, 10 millions, whatever. Everyone has a different number. Now in America, when I moved to America, I was asking entrepreneurs, so like startuppers, they all want to have 100 millions. I was like, why do you need 100 millions for what? I didn't understand the number. I was like, I'm more living in the pictures, you know. I also like to structure things. In reality, I'm living in the way I see things and structure them. It's kind of like different than artists do. They're not so like abstract, you know. We have a meeting right now, big event happening outside of my room. I'm living next to the parliament, the White House, whatever you call it, and
That's okay.
so
They
you'll
sound
hear
like
what
they're having fun.
I did the same, you know, like when I was like young, I was doing something similar. And I was like,
we
yo,
we all did. That's one thing. It doesn't matter where you're raised, how you're raised, what nationality, what it doesn't. We all were kids, and we all
we
did the
always,
same shit.
exactly. And I'm like, and I was like, I was doing it because I was believing in something in that moment of my life. And I was feeling that was something that meaningful for me. And it opened up the and it did actually. But like I was doing such a more intuitive way, you know, like kind of like believing that this is what helps me to the next level, whatever next level it is. Now I even like don't even think about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm living my dream. I just know that I'm living my dream. I gotta just focus on my art, create more like my exhibitions that I'm passionate about, and the right people will come naturally. I attract them naturally in the right moment in my life, and I just trust in the process. I just trust in the process of life and being authentic me, you know, continue to be authentic, because authenticity nowadays is not, it's like treasure, you know, because not so many people authentic and in the life. They don't, many people don't have a dreams. That my discovery is they just want to have money, and they don't even understand why they want to have money, just for travel or something. And they don't have any kind of like a strong values, you know. They kind of like everything is just so blurry and they're so confused. And I said to them, I used to say to the people, or young people special, like, create your values, and you know, create your vision, create your principles, choose the principle that you want to follow for yourself in the first place, and be it, practice them. Don't, you know, don't be wishy-washy. Like, it will not help you in the long run, because I went through that, and my values and my principles help me. Yes, I can get confused as anyone else. I get also out off the track as anyone else. And at the same time, I decided I'm the powerful creator. I'm successful human being. I have, you know, I have successful mindset. So I get to continue go and you know, achieve whatever I get to achieve there.
Yeah.
And because I don't believe that we all like somebody's like better or worse. I think we're all equal. We're just using 24 hours different, and the way we're putting our attention or pay attention to the things, and each of us spending this 24 hours in a different way. And if I pay my attention to the language or to the more art or to educate myself, it's different. I will read more books or travel. I will learn completely different things than other people who just talking all day long or gossiping and do nothing in their life. And I used to say, I don't have time for gossiping or do not. I have so much to do. I'm like so busy. Like, so in
You
my
have a lot.
life, at
You have a
least,
lot going
I have,
on.
yeah.
It's awesome.
Now I'm
It's awesome.
sailing. Now I was sailing, it's like many things is happening. I want to sail around the world. My biggest adventure that I want to do as well, it's sail around the world. And I know I'm going to do that. And it's better to die living your dream and be passionate what you do than do something and have a heart attack and die because you've been stressed out and doing something that you don't even love to do.
Yeah, trust me, I know that. So you've been awesome, kiddo. This time just flies. I can't believe this hour is already gone, but so
Wow.
how do your message is so awesome. I love your message. I love your energy. I love your passion. I love your vibe. I love what you're doing. So how do people find Aisha? How do they find you? How do they find your book? How do they find your website? How do they find your art? How do we get more of Aisha Makara?
You can find my Joyful Living Guidebook on Amazon. It's just Google it, Joyful Living Guidebook by Aisha Makara. And you can also find my mentorship program called like Joyful Living. It's on my website, Aisha.today is AISHA dot today. And my art as well. I have investment opportunities there. So everything in my website, what I do, all my projects for now. And I use mostly like my website for communicating with people.
Mhm.
I don't like
I
so much
love
other
it. I
media.
love it. Well, I went through the website. I went through the book. She's got some great stuff on there. And again, I just love your message. I mean, not everybody's going to be able to do what you're doing, but everybody can live your mindset, right? That doesn't mean we have to go to 60 different countries, but we can all live Aisha's mindset of just finding your passion, living it, having some dreams, and chasing it. And I just think that's an awesome message, my friend. It is. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And
Yeah.
you got to go to the gym and you get to go have dinner and you tell those kids I said settle down, you whippersnappers. You're awesome, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
It's my Mongolian side of me. It's like we are warriors. I mean, we can't, like we are we're always like creative as well. Like I feel like we are like surviving absolutely anywhere in the world by being authentic ourselves because it's in our blood. It's a part
Yeah.
of who we are. So the authenticity. I believe it's like a coming with a blood or like with our
Yeah. Well, I love
integrity.
that to live authentically. I mean, in a world that's full of phoniness, fakeness, you know, all sorts of just stuff that isn't real, living authentic, everyone should try that for a little bit, right? Just give it a try
Yeah,
and you'll be
3 months. Do
surprised.
like the past 3 months.
All right, Kenny, you're awesome. Everybody, we just had some fun with Aisha Makara. She's a wonderful gal. She's an author. She's a artist. She's a world traveler. But mostly she is a spreader of love and passion and goodness. And she has a shitload of fun doing it. So good for her. All right, my friend. Thank you. Thank you so much. Love you. Can't wait to see this and have everyone enjoy our little podcast. So thank you so much. All right, good.
Bye for now.
See you. Thanks,
Joyful living.
guys. See you soon. Bye. Thanks again for joining us on another episode of What If You Could podcast. Please subscribe, like, share, and give us any feedback. We'd love to hear it. And remember, if you can dream it, you can do it. See you next time.